Hi, I am Renee, and this video is to help out anyone who is looking at moving a website from wordpress.org to wordpress.com. I have 5 different websites, and I've just been through this process several times in the last few weeks, and this is the last site that I'm about to transfer over. So having spent many hours learning how to do this and making a few mistakes along the way, I thought I would write a blog post and record a video to help other people out, so perhaps you can save a bit more time. Please keep in mind things change. I'm not an IT expert. I just want to try and help people out, and things may change, so keep that in mind. Now I've lost my screen. Here we go. So the 10 steps are, first you want to export your content from the first website that you have with wordpress.org and the host that you have. I'll show you how in a minute. Then you want to import it into the new account that you've set up over at wordpress.com that I'll show you. If you want to, like I've run Dutch Australian for about 8 years now, and I've had a traffic of about 250,000, I have discovered that WordPress customer service can actually help you transfer these stats over if you have Jetpack connected, which is really handy. I will do that in a moment, but what I learned with a couple of my other sites is that if you don't disconnect Jetpack from the original WordPress.org site after you've transferred the stats, wait until they do that for you. If you don't disconnect it, when you then try and divert the URL to the new site, you end up going around in circles a little bit. So I'll show you that step in a moment. Then you need to buy an upgrade, because if you want to use your original URL, which is why most people have a WordPress.org account in the first place, you need to have one of their upgrade plans. Then you transfer URL, so mine is with GoDaddy. I learned this can take up to 8 days. However, there's a shortcut. So if you accept your own transfer, it can speed things up significantly. So my first transfer took maybe 7-8 days because I was waiting for it. And now I've realized if you click on something in an email, it can speed that up and happen in a matter of a few hours or so. Then you check that everything has worked okay, and then you delete your old site. So I did that, and we'll do it with this one with an email to my original host. And then a step I forgot at the beginning is if you have emails set up like I do, for example, with Zesty, I had renee@zesty.com running through G Suite, then you need to make sure that you check when you move your URL and your domain name across to wordpress.com, you've got to reconfigure things a little bit. So it's not super complicated. I would say like an average IT knowledge, maybe slightly above the average. I'm certainly not an IT expert, but what I love about WordPress is the fact that it is kind of manageable. So let's get started. I'm going to do a few of these steps and I'll pause this along the way, but this is my Dutch Australian. I have, I think, about 500 posts. I've done this on my other websites, which are smaller sites, and I've saved this one for last, and I'm really hoping it all runs smoothly. So what I've done with the others is I just go here into Tools and Export. So just export there, you click on that. Now choose what to export, so export all content, and even with quite a big site like Dutch Australian, it should happen in a matter of seconds. Then I'm going to go across to, I'm going to have to change my account here because I'm running this in my WordPress account. So I have a number of accounts here, a number of sites in my wordpress.com account, and I had previously set up dutchaustralian.wordpress.com. And I also have dutchaustralian.com. That dutchaustralian.com is connected to my WordPress account through wordpress.org and Jetpack. This new one is an empty site with wordpress.com. So I just set up a new blog, dutchaustralian.wordpress.com, and you'll see here it's empty. So what I'm going to do, fingers crossed it all works very smoothly like my others have, is I go into settings. No, I don't. I go into import here. Import another site. So you do start import. It seems you can import from others here. So start import. Click to upload the file. So the one that I just downloaded here is right here. And fingers crossed, that should happen fairly quickly. It's quite amazing, really, considering I've got like 500 posts or so coming across. Success. Now, if, oh, the input's not actually happened. Okay, it wasn't quite that quick, but it uploaded the file. So this will probably run for a little while. I think with my other sites, which are a bit smaller, it only took a matter of minutes. I am going to pause the video because it's going to take a little bit longer than you're probably willing to wait. And the other thing I need to do while the video is paused is that next step of transferring the stats. So I need to get on the customer service chat to wordpress.com to do that. It does say here that you can safely navigate away from the page. I like to just open a new tab. So here I'm going to get onto the chat, so I'll put this video on pause for a bit. Hi, back again. So it only took just a few minutes to transfer all of those hundreds of blog posts and site pages. This is one of the things I love most about WordPress.com. It's just easy to transfer stuff. So all of those blog posts are now sitting here. All of the pages are here. It does look a lot different than what my original site looks like because I've got to play around a bit with the templates or themes they're called. It seems I do have to change these steps that I published here on my blog, over on my Zesty.com blog, because I just asked WordPress.com customer service, who are great, they're so quick. I asked them to transfer my statistics, but they can't actually do that until you upgrade. So I'm going to have to shift that down and shift this up. So if you do want to transfer statistics from Jetpack, you need to have a upgraded plan with WordPress and not the free one. If you've not yet got an upgraded plan, I am trying to decide at the moment actually which one I want. As I'm recording this, it's Black Friday, so they've got a really good deal of 30% off. But even without that, they're quite well priced for what they offer. And I've been really impressed with their customer service. And I've used WordPress for, I think it's getting close to 8 years or so now. And it's only been in the last year or two that WordPress.com also offer hosting. They didn't before, which is why I was with WordPress.org. It gets a little complicated, so don't worry too much about that if it's not making a lot of sense. But if you have questions about it, feel free to write a comment or look up. There's a lot of blog posts out there. Anyway, so on WordPress.com you can always have a free site, and you can have multiple free sites within the same account. So for example, I have a free blog for both my children and one for myself. And the main thing with the free is that you will always have WordPress.com in your subdomain, and you have all the basic things that you need. You have free themes. It's a really great way to blog. I am a big fan of WordPress. The upgrades give you additional things, so it just depends what you need. All my other sites were running with a custom theme and plugins. Now, if I want to do that with all my sites here, I'm looking at spending $25 per month per site, which is just a bit out of reach for a small business like I am. So I've made a few compromises, and I run a couple of sites now on the personal plan, and I'm just deciding for this one that I'm transferring, the DutchAustralian.com, whether I want a premium or a business plan. Not quite sure yet. I am just thinking through whether I want these additional features. The Jetpack search I don't really need. The live courses, I don't even know if they hold them in my area in the Netherlands, and even if they do, I teach basic WordPress and digital marketing, so I don't really need to attend courses, and there's plenty of information online. SEO, I'm not that concerned about yet. Plugins are kind of handy to have. Google Analytics integration might be useful as well, although the Jetpack stats which are included in these are quite sufficient for what I need. I'm not too concerned about the WordPress.com branding. I like promoting that I'm using WordPress.com. So the only real thing I would be paying a lot of additional money for is to be able to upload themes. And I have what's called Divi, a custom theme at the moment, which I had on all my previous websites. But WordPress.com has made leaps and bounds in the last few years on the themes that they offer. So if you're willing to spend a bit of time looking through the themes that are actually available over here on the premium or the personal, then you don't really need the business for if you're a basic business like mine. If you're an e-commerce store and you want to sell stuff and you want shops and you want, like I have on one of my sites, I have an online social media school at one stage. If I want to run things like that, then yes, I will need the business plan. But for Dutch Australian, I don't know. I'm doubting between these two, so I'm going to put this on pause until I decide. Okay, I have decided on the premium plan because I want to try out a few of the features that it offers, and then you get this choice because I already own DutchAustralian.com over on GoDaddy. I can transfer it away from the current registrar, or I can map my domain. Now, I was a bit silly and I paid for 2 years at once with Dutch Australian, meaning I actually have another year left on GoDaddy. So that's around 20 euros worth. I could map my domain and leave it with the current registrar until later. But it looks like I may have to pay 13 euros per year to do that. And I'm just forfeiting 20 euros just to move it over. So I think it's just easier, like I've done with my other sites, which are nearly about to expire anyway, the domain name. So I think I'll just transfer to WordPress.com. So that's just easier to do. It's included in the paid plans. So I'm going to transfer it across, and these are those additional steps here. I've lost this post now, about the transferring the URL or domain name, accepting the transfer. So I'm already skipping to those steps. So to come back here, I own DutchAustralian.com. I have also learned that it says here HTTP, but with the WordPress.com hosting plans, you get a HTTPS secure certificate as well. If you know what that means, great. If not, then it's just a better way to run your website. So to transfer, what would I like to name? That's coming across from one of the other sites I've been working on. So what would I like to name it? Where I'm confused is this should already be in the bit that I'm upgrading. So I hope that I'm upgrading the correct site here. Anyway, we will, fingers crossed. Skip for now. I am concerned that I have just tried to upgrade and map the wrong thing. Again, I'm going to put this on pause and go and double check that I've linked it correctly to an upgrade. I think I may have started an actual new site, so I'm just going to go deal with that. Okay, back again. I'm going to share a big mistake I've just made, and am hoping that the chat can help me with this while I'm actually recording this. I'm sure they will somehow. So what I actually did by mistake here is when I was recording and showing that I was upgrading to premium, I actually created like a new site. So I created here DutchAustralian.com.wordpress.com, then I upgraded that new empty site, when what I actually should have been doing is upgrading this DutchAustralian.wordpress.com. I should have here been upgrading to premium here within that site. And that's the one I want to transfer my stats to. So you have to be careful when you are upgrading a site that you're actually upgrading the right site and not creating a brand new one that is empty. Because you can see here, if you look at blog posts, you look at site pages, there is nothing there. So even after the many hours I've spent learning this, I've still made a mistake. I'm fairly confident that the team here will help me out. In either case, I can simply just cancel that site. At worst, I will probably have to request a refund, wait a few days for the refund to come through, and pay again while I'm waiting for that to come through, because I want the Black Friday deal immediately. On this site here. So that just means I've kind of double paid, but I believe they offer quite easy refunds. I've had that before on Jetpack, which is the same company with Automattic. So I shouldn't have any problems. It's just a bit silly that I did that, but never mind. You make mistakes and the support chat should be able to help me out. So I will pause yet again and see how they help me sort that. Okay, I am back yet again, and the WordPress.com support staff are amazing. So the mistake that I made, they completely fixed for me within minutes. They transferred the premium upgrade across to the place where I actually wanted it to be and sorted everything out. They're really, really helpful, and they're usually really quick as well, which is great. So to go back to these steps and just recap really quickly, if I can find where I put the post. So here, as I said before, the order would change slightly, but the first thing is you export your content, quick and easy, done, import it into the new account. Transfer the statistics needs to come after buying the upgrade. Now I need to disconnect Jetpack and transfer the URL. So to disconnect Jetpack, I need to make sure I go to the original website, which is dutchaustralian.com. I need to go here to the Jetpack dashboard. In fact, it's probably the settings. So here I go to the settings. My statistics have been transferred across. So I now need to disconnect this, this account. I'm just looking for it here. Not immediately obvious. I've done it on the other sites. You need to somehow disconnect here. View more stats. I don't want them on WordPress.com. Again, another pause until I figure out where. Oh no, here we go. Account connection. Manage site connection here. So your site is connected to WordPress.com. You're the Jetpack owner. I want to disconnect that, because if you don't, what happens is when I redirect the URL and the domain name to my new.com, then it's going to really confuse Jetpack, because then the stats are kind of going around in circles. So I've disconnected. So now that original website, which I will go to one very last time before I delete everything, which is a really nicely presented website using a premium theme that I've purchased called Divi. I can no longer use that over on my new one. So at the moment it's looking like a bit of a mess. This is what it looks like right now, but I'm going to go work on changing that later. This website has now been all transferred across. I have disconnected the Jetpack, so we are now done with that site. So I will actually contact here. I will delete this old site by contacting my host directly and getting them to actually just delete it. So, but for now, it's a goodbye there. With the transferring the domain, so I need to first do that here within WordPress.com in the dashboard. So in my dutchaustralian.wordpress.com, here I want to claim this free domain, already own a domain, use a domain I own, and transfer your domain away from your current registrar. At first I was thinking, oh, I've paid up a year and I'm kind of losing that 20 euros that I've paid for. But that's part of the package I've just bought with WordPress.com anyway, through until November 2019. So I'm just going to transfer it, and it is HTTP. I don't think I need to actually put the www, so it's dutchaustralian.com. So I transfer. Oh, actually, I do need the www. So I'm going to transfer. No, it's put a space in it. Let's try that. Okay, manage, get ready for transfer. So I need to unlock. I forgot about that. I need to go across and unlock it. Then you get this authorization code. This is a little bit of back and forward, and it's not going to be very interesting on a video, so I'll pause it. But you go to wherever your original domain name is, and it will show you how to do that. And if you need extra help, then WordPress give instructions here. So back on pause for a moment. Okay, I have sorted that out at GoDaddy. It was a matter of just logging into my account and saying that I'm transferring it out. Then I unlocked it by just flicking a little switch, and then they emailed me an authorization code, which just cut and paste. So really quick and easy, and then continue. Now, this is the step that I mentioned before. Sorry, 1 minute. So register. Okay, I want the privacy connection. I just realized that's all my details there. I'm going to pause this again. Okay, so now that I have transferred everything across, it says the transfer process can take up to 5 days to complete. But this is where I realized a little bit of a shortcut. If you check your email and accept your transfer, this step here, you should get an email that says if you authorize this, you can go and log into your GoDaddy account and authorize it immediately. So if you do that, it can save you days. So I highly recommend doing that. Then I'll round up this video because the check all is working okay on the WordPress.com account. I can see that it is here, so it's a bit of a mess because I've got to work on the themes, and when it's transferred all the content across, it's just tried to fit it in a random theme with a random menu that I've got to go and tidy up. Checking all the stats I have done, so that's all transferred across okay. I've disconnected Jetpack. I'm going to ask my host to delete my old WordPress.org website, and then the reconnect and check your emails. I'm not going to do that this evening, so I may have to just add to this blog post later, and I've forgotten exactly how. No, it's coming back to me. If I go into, sorry, a lot of flicking back and forward here like I often do. Here, you go into email. Now it will give you the option here to buy G Suite. I already have G Suite. So what I need to do is wait for the domain transfer to come across for the email. Once the domain transfer comes across, it gives me, I've forgotten the abbreviation. I think it's something like MX codes, and I need to go to G Suite, and there's a small step that I need to take to put some information within G Suite, within WordPress.com that connects it properly with my email. So that was another step I forgot about when I transferred my first sites, but if you take that, then it will fix it for you. Otherwise, you can actually buy G Suite here. So that video has taken you through all of the steps of moving from WordPress.org to WordPress.com. It may be a fairly long video. As I look at my timer, it's about 23 minutes. However, in that 23 minutes, I have condensed what has taken me probably a good 7-8 hours to learn in the last couple of weeks. So I hope there's at least a few people out there that I can save you the time. I learned from a few other people's videos as well, although I didn't really find anything that really helped specifically do what I've just done. So please let me know if it helped you, because I would love to know that it was worthwhile recording this video. But either way, it's helped me. It's helped me remember the steps, and I also teach digital marketing, so I'm sure there'll be some students and potential clients that I can share this with and save you some drama. So good luck, and you're free to get in touch and let me know how you go, or if there's any changes to the steps that I've recorded. Have a great day or evening wherever you are in the world.